Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Agoura Hills City Council meeting. This meeting is being conducted in person in the council chambers and also by utilizing video conferencing. Please silence all cell phones and other electronic devices and do not access Zoom during the live meeting as it will cause interference with the audiovisual system in the council chambers. Tonight's meeting may be viewed on Zoom via the link on the agenda, by live stream on YouTube, by entering Agoura Hills City Council meeting in your browser and clicking on the link for May 24th, 2023, or view the live or archive meeting on the city's website at agourahillscity.org and click on Watch Meetings Online button. I will now defer to the city clerk.
Thank you, Mayor Anstead. There will be an opportunity for the public to speak on any item listed on the agenda. Any person in the council chambers who wishes to speak or submit a written comment is requested to complete a comment card for each item and submit to the city clerk prior to the public comment portion of the item. Comments submitted at the meeting will be provided to the city council for review and filed with the official record. For any person participating remotely, written public comments were requested to be emailed by 4 p.m. today and distributed to the City Council in advance of the meeting. To request to speak during public comment, please click on the Raise Hand button on the Zoom toolbar. Request to speak must be received prior to the mayor closing the public comment portion of the item. Public testimony for all speakers is limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Written public comments will not be read aloud by the city clerk. For full details, please refer to the public participation section on the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. I will now call the meeting to order. And I will now, for the Pledge of Allegiance, I will defer to Girl Scout Troop 176.
Good evening, Agoura Hills City Council. We are Girl Scout Troop 176. Will the audience please rise? Color Guard advance. Color Guard post the colors. Those not in uniform, please place your right hand over your heart. Please say with me the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Color Guard post the colors. Color Guard dismissed. The audience may be seated.
Thank you very much, and I'd like to thank the Girl Scout Troop 176. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Were they done? I don't.
I will now defer to the city clerk for a roll call vote.
Good evening. Councilmember Lopez?
Here.
Councilmember Sylvester?
Here.
Councilmember Wolf?
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Buckley Weber?
Present.
Mayor Anstead?
Present.
Mayor Anstead, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. I'll now defer to our city attorney for a report of closed session.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Direction was given to staff. No reportable action was taken this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll move to the approval of agenda. Will the maker of the motion and second to approve the agenda please state your names?
Mayor Pro Tem Buckley Weber moves to approve tonight's agenda.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second. Deborah Klein Lopez.
Thank you. I'll now defer to the city clerk for a roll call vote.
Councilmember Lopez?
Aye.
Councilmember Sylvester?
Aye.
Councilmember Wolf?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Buckley Weber?
Aye.
Mayor Anstead?
Aye.
Mayor Anstead, you have approval 5-0.
Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is actually a proclamation for the Senior Citizen of the Year, and I would like to honor Nate Spivak. And Nate, I want to have you just stay there. Actually, I'm not going to make you stand during my presentation. I'll come over and I'll have you stand up. Thank you. Okay, our Senior Citizen of the Year this year is Nate Spivak. And Nate was born in Paris in 1933 and was an only child. In 1942, when his parents were sent to Auschwitz, he went on the run until the end of the war. In 1951, when he was 18, Nate and his mother immigrated to the United States. Nate was drafted into the Army and stationed in Japan during the Korean War, and after returning from the war, he met his future bride, Linda Primack, and they had 3 boys, David, Stephen, Michael, and 5 grandchildren. Nate and his wife, Linda, lived in Covina for 50 years, and in 2013, they moved to Agoura Hills, where he began volunteering at the Agoura Hills bookseller, making new friends through the library. Nate's beloved wife of 63 years, Linda, passed away in early 2021, who he misses every day. After his wife's passing, Nate learned about Wings Over Wendy's and joined the Veterans in West Hills. Nate will be celebrating his 90th birthday this year, and he continues to tell his story of survival during the Holocaust to younger generations so they will never forget. Nate, on behalf of the City Council, it is with great pleasure that I present you with a proclamation as the Senior Citizen of the Year to you and congratulate you as the 2023 Agoura Hills Senior Citizen of the Year and the Los Angeles County Older American nominee, and also wish you a happy early birthday. You got it. Nate, I would like to ask you to come up, and would you like to say a few words to everybody?
Well,
I'll let you talk about whatever you like.
talk whatever I like. Well, I want to thank for the honor that you're giving me. I enjoy what I'm doing. I enjoy working for the library, the bookstore for Diane, and also like to go to the market. I get paid with oranges.
Nice.
I want to thank everybody for this, okay?
Well,
It is a great honor for me.
that's great. Take a picture. We're gonna have you come over and we're gonna take a picture with you. Okay. The proclamation. So we're gonna. Okay. Hold that right in front of you. I'll put this down. I want to also personally thank you for your service to this country as well. I'm also a veteran, and I really appreciate all your service. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, next up is Intergovernmental Special Purpose Committee and Departmental Reports, and I believe we have Adam Haverstock from the Greater Conejo Valley Chamber of Commerce. Adam, are you on the line?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Anstead and council members. My name is Adam Haverstock, and I'm the Director of Government Affairs and Tourism for the Greater Conejo Valley Chamber of Commerce, here with a few updates from your chamber. First of all, a big thank you to Mayor Anstead, Councilmember Wolf, and Assistant City Manager Adeva for attending the Chamber's annual awards gala last week. We always appreciate the support from the city. You may remember that the Chamber has developed a new breakfast concept where we bring in speaker panels for high-level discussions, which we are calling our Spotlight Breakfast Series. Mayor Anstead participated in the Civic Leaders Panel Breakfast back in February. Well, the next Spotlight Breakfast in the series is coming up next Friday, June 2nd. This one will focus on healthcare and well-being issues and will include a panel of professionals from all facets of the wellness space. Panelists will include Dr. Adam Cavaliero from UCLA Health, CEO Natalie Musi from Los Robles Health System, Dr. Todd Moynar from Southern California Orthopedic Institute, Lisa Safanili from the Westminster Free Clinic, and Ronnie Stone from YMCA. This breakfast panel will be at the Courtyard Bar Marriott in Agoura Hills, and more information is on the Chamber website at conejochamber.org. Our biggest mixer of the year is our annual Mixpo. It's one half mixer and one half business expo, so hence the name Mixpo. We kind of mashed it together. This year Mixpo will be held on Wednesday, June 14th, so it's coming up in a few weeks at Los Robles Greens in Thousand Oaks. Unlike a normal networking mixer, businesses can reserve a booth space at this event, and attendees can get information about local businesses, they can sample food or drink, and they can network. Again, that event is on Wednesday, June 14th, and information is at our website, conejochamber.org. But pre-registration is not required to attend, and this event is open to the public, so anyone is welcome to join us. Last week, Chamber President, CEO Danielle Borgia, Chamber Board Chair Ed Sahakian, and I attended the California Chamber of Commerce's Capital Summit in Sacramento. We had a chance to meet with Assemblymember Jackie Irwin, our new state senator Ben Allen after redistricting, and staff with Senator Henry Stern's office. And I bring this up because at that event, our chamber was honored by the California Chamber of Commerce with the President's Circle Award. It is the highest honor that Cal Chamber bestows upon local chambers of commerce, and only 10 chambers in the entire state received it this year. Also, this was our 15th consecutive President's Circle Award. We have gotten it every year since it has been offered by Cal Chamber, and only 5 chambers of commerce statewide have also done that. So we're very proud of that recognition from Cal Chamber. Finally, I wanted to give you a couple of updates from Visit Conejo Valley, the Tourism Improvement District. For the month of April, we had a revenue per room of $120. That is a significant revenue beat as we budgeted for $110 for April. So for first quarter of 2023, we're right on target for revenue, if not slightly ahead of projections. Also, we recently completed our first quarter financial report. Real revenue is expected to beat our projected revenue by $10,000 to $15,000, which is a strong position going into summer, which is our busy season. As I've mentioned before, the Tourism Improvement District is the official hotel partner of the Wild Oaks Country Music Festival, which is happening next Saturday, June 3rd. If you don't have your tickets yet, go get them. Among other things, we are arranging for some big influencers to attend and to develop content. Most notably, if there are any fans of the TV show The Bachelor, a former bachelor from the show who is from Westlake Village, his name is Pete Weber, he goes by Pilot Pete. He is going to be attending and doing some additional promotion for the area in addition to attending the festival. So we think that'll bring Bachelor Nation out to Thousand Oaks and to the greater Conejo Valley. Also, you may have heard that the X Games finals are going to be in Ventura this summer in July. We are working on some marketing and PR efforts to position us as a convenient and affordable option for visitors looking to attend the X Games, but that don't want to fight all of the downtown Ventura crowds. So more to come on that. So that does conclude my comments this evening. Before we move on to questions, I believe that Chamber President CEO Danielle Borgia is attending the meeting in person tonight, and I think she wanted to share some comments as well.
Sure. Adam, I want you to stay on, please, as well. Okay. Danielle, go ahead.
Good evening, mayors, Anstead, and council members. I just wanted to be here this evening as obviously this is last meeting for Adam Haverstock to be reporting. And I just want to make sure you know that, we are actively interviewing for the role. Adam is obviously leaving big shoes behind to fill, just as Jill did for me previously. And we have some really strong applicants. But in the meantime, I will be filling Adam's duties. So please feel free to reach out to me if you should need anything in the interim.
Thank you very much. And Adam, before we go, we have a special presentation for you. This evening, on behalf of the City Council, I have the pleasure of recognizing you. For nearly a decade, Adam has served as the Director of Government Affairs for the Greater Conejo Valley Chamber of Commerce and as the Director of Operations for Visit Conejo Valley. In this role, he executed the government affairs strategy to benefit of over 750 business members and thousands of businesses throughout the Conejo Valley. Adam also managed the day-to-day operations of Visit Conejo Valley, growing the impact of the Tourism Improvement District throughout the years to promote local tourism with 15 hotel partners in Agoura Hills and Thousand Oaks. Adam was first introduced to the city by former President CEO Jill Lederer at the regular City Council meeting held on November 13th, 2013. where he provided his first of many monthly chamber updates. Adam has always led the Leadership Conejo program and was instrumental in launching the Tourism Improvement District and Visit Conejo Valley, which helped to promote tourism in our city and surrounding region. Adam, on behalf of the City Council, I would like to present this certificate of appreciation and recognition of your 10 years of tremendous outreach and amazing dedication to supporting and promoting the City of Agoura Hills, and we wish you continued success and the very best in your future future endeavors. Thank you again, Adam, for everything that you've done for the City of Agoura Hills.
Thank you.
I know probably my fellow City Council members like to say a few words, but I'll first ask you, Adam, do you have anything that you'd like to say to us before we have everybody else go around the horn?
You think I would have prepared something? I didn't even think this was coming. You know, it's really been, you know, the pleasure of my career up to this point to work for the Chamber of Commerce. I really feel like, you know, we've done a lot of great work. You know, I'm very proud of the work that we did. I think, you know, I can stand behind every decision we made during the good times and the bad. I know the Chamber is in good hands with Danielle, and I know that she's going to find someone great to fill my role and to, you know, keep the Chamber servicing, you know, both the city and the greater community and the businesses at a very high level. So, you know, obviously I'm moving on, and you know, sometimes you got to make that decision, but it's not because I don't love the Chamber and love the work that we did every day. So thank you very much for the recognition. I do appreciate it very much.
You got it. Thank you, Adam. Does any council members have any comments? Sure. Councilmember Lopez.
Thank you. Adam, I wish you the very, very best in your future endeavors. I just want to say that the fact that the Chamber has won so many awards and is so well regarded, and that our tourism district is thriving and all of those things, I know it is a team effort with the whole Chamber, but there's certainly, you know, you played a huge role in all of that. And like you said, but for the good times and the bad, we made it through COVID together. You were there to support our small businesses and the community in its time of need. So, you know, you've really kind of been through the trenches with us and helped us get to the other side and help us succeed. So just want to say thank you, and I wish you the very best with your beautiful growing family, your young ones, and wishing you and your family the very best. So thank you for everything.
Thank you. Councilmember.
Hey, Adam. Just want to thank you for your years of service. I really want to highlight your Visit Conejo and the tourism work that you've done. I believe, Nate, you guys work together a lot on that. But yeah, to bring people to the Conejo Valley and the foresight to, you know, run ads in other parts of the state to get people to come here, and it's what's helped to keep this community vibrant, and it's out of the box thinking that has helped propel us forward. You will be greatly missed. I thank you for everything you've done for not only Agoura Hills but the entire Conejo Valley, and I appreciate you, and I will very much miss working with you. So thank you, and good luck on everything. And hopefully now you don't have to stay up till, you know, 12:30 for council meetings. So thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
Any other comments, Mayor Pro Tem Buckley-Weber?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Adam, it seems like yesterday that you were being introduced at this podium. The years have flown by, and you have certainly proved yourself over and over and over again. You never missed a beat. You were very excited about bringing the influencers to Paramount Ranch and Conejo leadership, and you've just done a remarkable job, and you should be very proud of how you've advanced the image of the Conejo Chamber. Again, someone already said it, I know it's teamwork, but you were really out there. And even when you moved, your presence is still very strong here. So thank you for all that you've done. Good luck with your future endeavors, and I'm sure you're going to be a success in anything you do. So good luck.
Thank you.
Council members.
I would just like to second what everybody else has already said and to say thank you so much. I really look forward to your reports at all our meetings, and I just wish you good luck. So thank you.
And Adam, from me personally, again, I've really enjoyed interacting with you And it's been great, and I think that you've done a great job at all the different events. You and the rest of the chamber have done a fantastic job of organizing them and making them fun, is at the same time making sure that they're educational and informative as well. So that's great. And I look forward to seeing you at many more council chamber events just as a participant. So thank you again, Adam. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
You got to have a great evening, and thank you again, Daniel. You got it. And so we'll go ahead and move on. Our next item is the Las Virgenes Malibu Council of Governments update, and I'll defer to Councilmember Sylvester.
Thank you. A couple of things. First of all, July 1st, the new Malibu Sheriff's Substation will be opening at the satellite campus for Santa Monica College in Malibu. The Sheriff's Department and Fire Department are gearing up for fire season. They're going to be holding joint exercises to prepare, and Captain C2 is leading the setup of an intelligence integration center, which will share information with all the different agencies. Chief Smith said that defensible space inspections have started, and they will be taking place between the hours of 8 a.m. and dusk, so you will start to see them in our communities. I would like to remind our residents that the 0 to 5 clear vegetation ordinance is not going to be in effect for a couple more years, but these inspections are going to be really helpful because it will give you an idea of where the vulnerabilities are in your home. And that's really important to know, so we can all start working towards that, what will eventually be that 0 to 5 zone. And Chief Smith also warned us that snakes are on the rise, so do be careful when you're out and about. And also Megan Currier from the fire department, there's going to be a new CERT class starting on July 11th. It runs for 7 weeks in Agoura. And the class runs from 6 to 8:30. And I highly encourage our residents to participate. I did the course, and I certainly learned a lot and know now what to do in an emergency. Davis Hand from Senator Bill Allen's office gave us an update, as I was talking previously, on the 0 to 5 defensible space. It's expected to be implemented in January of 2025 for new builds, and not until January of 2026 for existing homes. And Senator Allen will be available during summer recess, July 14th to August 14th, for any events in our area. Nancy Frawley from Jackie Irwin's office reported that they are working on 2 bills. One is to have more accurate food expiration date labels to prevent food waste. And the second is a cannabis bill to make it illegal for cannabis products to look like candy or soda, which is attractive to our juveniles. The COG Council approved a contract to update the COG's hazard mitigation plan. And our city will be holding public outreach events once a draft is available. So we really will be asking our community to give input on that. And that will probably be taking place in about 3 months. And then finally, the COG held a vote to approve sending a letter to Lindsay Horvath in opposition to involuntarily rotating deputies to other stations every 5 years. I abstained from the vote because our council has not yet decided on that, and the motion passed 4-0 with 1 abstention.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you very much for that update. Any questions from other council members? Any updates from any other council members? All right. Any other reports from staff? No? All right. Sounds good. So we'll now move into public comments. This section is reserved for persons wishing to speak on items not listed on the agenda that are under the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. For council chamber attendees, please submit a public comment card to the City Clerk. For Zoom attendees, please click the raise hand button on the Zoom toolbar now. Public testimony is limited to 3 minutes per speaker, and a speaker's time may not be transferred to another speaker. Persons addressing the council shall not engage in disorderly conduct that disrupts or otherwise impedes the orderly conduct of the meeting. We respectfully request that if you have something to distribute to the council, you hand it to our city clerk and do not approach the dais. I will now defer to the city clerk for public comments.
Thank you, Mayor Anstead. No written public comments have been received and no speaker cards have been submitted. I'll now defer to staff for any remote participants.
Thank you, Mayor Anstead. No hands are raised to speak on this item.
Thank you. We'll now move to the consent calendar. This section is reserved for persons wishing to speak on items on the consent calendar. For council chamber attendees, please submit a public comment card to the city clerk. For Zoom attendees, please click the raise hand button on the Zoom toolbar now. Public testimony is limited to 3 minutes per speaker, and the speaker's time may not be transferred to another speaker. We respectfully request that if you have something to distribute to the council, you hand it to our city clerk and do not approach the dais. I will now defer to the city clerk for public comments.
Thank you, Mayor Anstead. No written public comments have been received and no speaker cards have been submitted. I'll now defer to staff for any remote participants.
Thank you, Mayor Anstead. No hands are raised to speak on this item.
All right. Are there any questions from the city council on the consent calendar? Mayor Pro Tem Buckley Weber.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to actually pull item number 4 off of the consent calendar.
Okay.
Thank you.
You got it. Okay, so is there any opposition to pulling number 4 off the consent calendar? All set. Okay, so we'll move forward with the consent calendar except for number 4, and we'll come back to that to discuss after the consent calendar. So I'll now move forward with approval of the consent. I will now call for a motion and a second to adopt the consent calendar minus number 4 on the consent calendar. Do I have a motion?
Councilmember Sylvester so moves.
Do I have a second?
Mayor Pro Tem Buckley Weber seconds the motion.
Excellent. I will now defer to the city clerk for a roll call.
Councilmember Lopez?
Aye.
Councilmember Sylvester?
Aye.
Councilmember Wolf?
No.
The consent.
Aye, sorry.
Sorry.
Mayor Pro Tem Buckley Weber?
Aye.
Mayor Anstead?
Aye.
Mayor Anstead, do you have approval 5-0?
Thank you very much. So we'll now move to number 4. And Mayor Pro Tem Buckley Weber, do you want to start us off on the discussion for number 4, which is the request to amend the budget to appropriate surface transportation program local funds for additional weed abatement services?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just thought it was something that I'd like to talk about with everybody. I don't have necessarily an opinion one way or the other, but as you saw, they're going to be using Roundup in Old Agoura. Sometimes you have to use herbicides and dangerous chemicals for the better good, or not, but I just thought it might be an item that we want to talk about because one of the options would be to put this off till next June and kind of get more into it. But actually, I'd like to defer to Jessica because Ms. Forte we worked together, and she's got some good, valuable information. But again, I'm not saying I'm pro or against. I just felt it was important for us to have a conversation because our Old Agoura community is going to see them, obviously using chemicals. So I think we just want to talk about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and honorable council members. I do have some more information on this item and how this process would be implemented. Mayor Pro Tem Buckley Weber spoke with me today and asked if we could work with this consultant to remove Roundup, and we were able to do so. So Roundup won't be included in the group of herbicides that are used to control the tree of heaven. However, 2 other herbicides will be. Garlon 4, which is a triclopyr, and Polaris, which is a mazapur. I'm sorry if I pronounce those incorrectly. They have no known carcinogenic effect the same way that the glyphosate in Roundup does. So they're a little bit safer than the Roundup. And what the process would do would be to cut these trees of heaven, and to physically paint on the herbicides It'll be a revolving process. So as soon as the cut is made, that will be painted on, and somebody will be there until it's dried, at which time there's no likelihood of transfer to animals, fish, or other wildlife. So at this time, I stand by the staff's recommendation to include the appropriate budget from the STPL funds and to move forward this June, as my understanding of this tree is that it seeds just prolifically beginning in July and August. And one of the big issues with it is that its root structure actually grafts to some of our oaks and walnut trees and other things out there, and could cause them to struggle. So I do think putting off this effort could be a deterrent to some of our more precious trees out in that area.
Thank you. Any other comments or
No,
questions?
I just, I think that's a positive thing that we can do this without Roundup. That doesn't mean the other herbicides are good. But, I know there's people out there who would tell us that we could be using no herbicides and get to our goal of removing these non-native trees and, but I think that sometimes you have to do things that you really don't want to do to get to the next step. And I believe that this item is the budget item that has to do with replanting oak trees over there. Is that right?
No, this is actually the surface transportation program. It's a local fund that was transferred from federal street improvement funds to what they call local metro dollars. They're not specifically M or R, but it can be used for the control of noxious weeds in right-of-way. So we would just like to use that special fund rather than request general fund.
And so, well, I guess it's still to be viewed of whether or not we would be planting trees in place of that. So I'll leave it at that. But again, just wanted to hear what you guys all have to say and what your thoughts are, because it's a tough choice, using herbicides to, stop the spread or the seeds.
Councilmember Sylvester.
Yeah, I'd just like to follow up, Jessica. So instead of spraying Roundup once they remove these invasive, do they look like trees or more like vines?
They look actually quite like a walnut tree, except for the trunk is long. They grow about 15 feet a year. And if I could back up, I don't think that we would recommend planting trees along the same location, but likely native shrubs, because they happen to be just under some of our SCE lines.
Okay. So when they're removing them, they're cutting them right down to the ground? Is that correct?
So what they'll do with there's two applications. So they'll cut the tree to a 16-inch stump and treat it then, and then they'll cut it flush to the ground and treat it once more in about 2 to 3 weeks after the first implementation.
So it'll be, but it's just directly onto the stub, and it doesn't get sprayed to attack anything.
It's hand painted on.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other comments? Councilmember Lopez.
So just one question about it, the painting, is that we've had issues with contractors not being careful with cutting and trimming, and so it sounds very labor intensive, and that we're trusting that our contractors are going to be conscious of the damage that could be done if they're not careful. So I guess the question is, how do we ensure that this happens the correct way when it does sound very labor intensive?
So that's a great question. We had the same concerns, especially with its proximity to the creek. So we're actually having a licensed agricultural pest control advisor perform that element of the work. So West Coast arborists will trim the trees, and their licensed PCA will be the one physically painting.
Okay, and then you said it waits 2 to 3 weeks, and then they do the second half? Okay.
That's correct.
Okay. I just did a quick search of it, and it sounds like letting it go unchecked is pretty dangerous and against what our goals are, and I know the goals of many people who care about the Santa Monica Mountains. So, yeah, I agree. It's a really tough choice, but it sounds like the consequence of not treating it could be much, much worse. So, okay, thank you for that information.
You're welcome.
How many are there?
We didn't do a specific count, but we believe it's between about 110 and 120. There's, it's hard to tell some of the split trunks, and oftentimes it has a joined root system. So, but we approximate between 100 and 120.
Councilmember Wolf, you have any comments?
Yeah, so this is something I'm pretty passionate about, and this tree is, there's a lot of data behind this, and the United States Department of Agriculture has an entire field guide on removal, and it's listed as they call a noxious weed. And I do want to highlight that the reason why this is coming up on the agenda is because June is the best time to get it removed. And this is a prolific plant that takes over an entire ecosystem, and its leaves are toxic, its bark is toxic. So, I mean, it creates, for all intents and purposes, a dead zone. And so no natives are able to grow around it. So, I mean, the quicker that we can attack this and get it out, the better. I also want to comment that I spoke to the city manager about this, and there will be outreach done to the community to let them know what is happening. But this is, for me, I find it to be really important because it is destroying precious habitat that we have. And so this is a step that we can take to restore the habitat. And I do appreciate the quick work and creative action taken by our Public Works Director to get this done in a timely manner, and working on Mother Nature's timeline. And so just the timing happened to work perfectly. I don't want us to be using poisonous chemicals, but it does provide me a little bit of relief knowing that with the rainy season likely behind us, and I don't know, are the chemicals that they're going to be using water soluble? Do you know?
I'm not certain if they're water soluble, but they are selected for aquatic environments because of, again, the proximity to the creek.
Okay. I think that we need to do whatever we can to get this out of here, and it's just this prolific plant that I've read up a lot, and it's really hard to eliminate. So I do understand that's a tricky situation, and I appreciate the creativity that has gone into helping to restore this habitat right next to the Chesbrough Meadow and the wildlife corridor, and this is multi-beneficial. So thank you.
And I think the only comment that I would make is I feel better too with the Roundup being excluded from that as well. And so I think those are my comments on it. I don't have any further than everybody else's already discussed. So I think we'll move forward to go ahead and vote on it. So
Sure.
I'll move for both a motion and a second to approve the request to amend the fiscal year 2022-2023 budget to appropriate surface transportation program, the local STPL funds for additional weed abatement services. Do I have a motion and a second?
I'll make a motion. This is Deborah Klein Lopez.
Okay. And do I have a second?
Mayor Pro Tem Buckley Weber seconds the motion.
Now I'll defer to the city clerk for a roll call vote.
Councilmember Lopez?
Aye.
Councilmember Sylvester?
Aye.
Councilmember Wolf?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Buckley Weber?
Aye.
Mayor Anstead?
Aye.
Mayor Anstead, you have approval 5-0.
Thank you. Are there any comments from staff? Additional comments? No? Any comments from the city council? Go ahead, Councilmember.
A couple of things. I would just like to thank staff for finding a way to accelerate the creation of the accessible playground at Morrison Park. When you have a disabled child, it makes all the difference in the world. So thank you so much for doing that. And also, I would just like to give a shout out to our city for the role we played in the Sheila Kuehl Nature Preserve. So congratulations to you all. I know you all worked in it long before I was here, but I really appreciate it, and I know our residents will too. So thank you.
And that's what I was going to say. I was going to thank the city and the city staff who worked hard for years on trying to save Triangle Ranch, which now the base of in the oak trees is the Sheila James Kuehl Nature Preserve. It was a wonderful event on Sunday morning. Got to see a lot of people that we worked with way back when. Everybody's aged gracefully. And there was even some young people there. So like Councilmember Wolf. And so, you know, we all felt really good about it. It was a wonderful event. And, you know, I think the community is really proud of that we pitched in on that and we helped push in all the right directions to get that saved. It wasn't easy. It was talked about, you know, it was in the process long before I even got on the council. Saving Triangle Ranch. So it's pretty monumental. I mean, it feels really good that we all pulled it off. So thank you to the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy, MRCA, the County of Los Angeles, Governor Newsom, the state of California, Senator Henry Stern. And as you can see, we could go on and on with the different partners who worked on this. But it's very exciting to actually even have our name on the sign. So if you're heading over to the beach, look to your right, just past Cornell, and you'll see a nice big sign, and City of Agoura Hills is on there. So thank you for all your hard work, for those of you who were here, most of you were, to help work on it.
Any other comments? All right, all good. The special meeting of the City Council Budget Workshop will be held at 4 p.m., followed by the regular City Council meeting at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, June 14th, 2023 in the council chambers of the Civic Center. It is anticipated that members of the public will have the opportunity to participate in person in the council chambers or by remote video conferencing. At this time, we will adjourn tonight's meeting. Will the maker of the motion and second to adjourn please state your names?
Councilmember Sylvester so moves.
Do I have a second?
I'll second. This is Deborah Klein Lopez.
Thank you. I will now defer to the city clerk for a roll call vote.
Councilmember Lopez?
Aye.
Councilmember Sylvester?
Aye.
Councilmember Wolf?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Buckley Weber?
Aye.
Mayor Anstead?
Aye.
Mayor Anstead, you have approval 5-0.
Thank you. This meeting is now adjourned.